And hey, we're doing this podcast again. Hey, we're still around. Couch Co-op.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, yeah.
Couch Co-op. Do 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 do. It's Transformers drop right there. What up, Nick? It's just you and me tonight.
Yes, it is. I thought we were going to have some other people joining us, but
Lazy non-beer drinkers. They have all gone sober.
or diving into hell
I don't.
twice.
I don't even think they're doing that. I think no anyone.
I know. As soon as I got the game, nobody plays. Well, or at least whenever I'm available.
Oh, wah, wah. Yeah, you gotta harass John. You gotta get on the group thing and just harass John. Will get on. He'll play whenever. You just gotta hey, play with me. We talked about it now before the show started. Before recording, we talked about this at length. But wow, what a nice little background you got going on here, Nick. You got this new. I mean, this isn't the gaming episode, but got this cool controller light going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
brilliant.
it's actually. It kind of resembles a PS5 controller.
Yeah, it does. It does. It has a little trackpad. It's got the roundedness.
Mm-hmm.
Very awesome. Just is it battery powered?
No, it's actually plugged in. It actually didn't come with an actual plug. It came with like a USB cord.
Oh, okay.
So I just plugged it into a phone charger and it worked.
Awesome.
Hooray.
Well, of course it did. That's the world we live in. USB, because now you get all those like USB plug-in slots in your house, and you just switch them out and have.
Yeah. I don't know if I put the pictures up on Discord, but yeah, I did a thing where I switched one of the outlets that needed to be replaced, and it was near the couch, so I was just doing
USB.
a little forward thinking. And yeah, it was 2 regular plugins and 2 USB-C.
Oh, nice.
Plugins.
Well played.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tonight we're doing a little different episode. We're not reviewing a beer. We're going to talk about our top 3 overrated.
We're going to talk shit about some
We're going
beers
to talk shit about breweries. We're going to do our top 3 overrated breweries. Because we did decided just to not get beers, or I mean, I know Nick has a beer, but I mean, I guess we could have gone out and bought a beer. But the last time I recommended 2 beers, shit went south pretty fast, and yeah. I don't need that tonight.
Southworth.
Oh, well played. But before we get going, what are you drinking tonight? Because we are still drinking.
Stella.
We still drink beer.
Stella out of a chalice.
Oh, beautiful.
Like a gentleman.
I drank a 12-pack of Stella last night, so I decided not to do Stella tonight. Tonight I'm just drinking the old Miller Lite out of my Couch Co-hop mug. So that's what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I'm always surprised, like how like if you were to pour like Bud Light, Coors Light, and then Miller Lite, this one is like really a lot darker than those beers. Like those are way more yellow, and this one's a very much more golden color. Anyway, just an observation. It's a beer. It's a light beer that tastes like beer, and I like it. Not that this is a review show about Miller Lite, because I think we've already done Miller Lite a long time ago. And you all know how I feel about Stella, and how Nick feels about Stella. We did a drunken episode about that.
It's very, I mean, not as drunken as the Force, but the forces of drunkenness.
Those are coming out. They're all scheduled. So they're all coming out. They may not be coming out on the podcast channel, but they are definitely coming out on the YouTube channel. So they will be visible for the world. I think the normal one came out. The Fruit Force, which was okay, that one's right. It's the next one that gets saucy. So I think that one's next week. So, and then the Lord Bears.
So you did decide to publish them.
Well, we had that talk. We were talking on something else. I think after the last Couch Co-op you were on, I was like, I said, all right, I'll just swallow my pride and let it go. So that Lord Beerstro will also come out. That's probably 2 weeks away. But yeah, That'll they're all scheduled to come out. So, uh, everyone, if you want to
It's
experience Drunk Ian, go to my YouTube page and you will.
well, it's great because it's like an interweaving thread of just just as we kind of go down the ladder, I guess.
Just devolving into
Hmm.
just complete
Ian
insanity.
rolls down a hill.
Sponsored by Triscuits.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's get to the job at hand. Our top three, in our opinions, what we think are the most overrated craft breweries. How did you approach picking your list? And were they all just Pacific
Um,
Northwest, or did you venture out?
I kind of ventured out a little bit, but I mean, it's like kind of once you go further east, it's
I haven't had them as much,
the
so I don't.
ex.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're a little harder to come by, unfortunately, and yeah, I mean, with distribution the way I mean,
gotta
God, it seemed
rate
like
what
for
you
a
know.
while,
Yeah,
yeah, rate what you know. I mean, yeah, it's a little harder to rate something that I've only experienced a couple times. I mean, to be fair, anyway. I mean,
right. Gotcha.
it's yeah, and it's unfortunate because it seemed like back in the day there seemed like there used to be a lot more distribution going both ways, you could where supposed regional just breweries were actually becoming more nationwide, and then unfortunately things kind of are. I mean, they may still be, but things are kind of shrinking back, and that's kind of sad because there are actually some good breweries out there that were getting out there, and unfortunately, they've had to kind of scale back, and now they're not available here.
How
I'm
many
sad.
how many breweries do you think we have the same? I know it's just the top three, but do you think we are going to share any breweries on this list?
Um, I don't think so.
Oh wow, you really
We
you went.
may, we may, but we may not. But I don't think so. Because
You know what? You know what?
I've got an idea of
I just had
one
an
or two that may be on your list,
I just
but
had a fucking brewery that came to my head that I all of a sudden just randomly, but I don't think it's very highly rated. So never mind. Maybe not. Okay, never mind. Uh oh, Yusef, number one overrated brewery, McMinimans. Uh, uh,
I mean,
I, mm,
I mean, I hear people talk shit about service, but that doesn't really necessarily have anything to do with the
yeah,
food.
McMinimans is always about service and their food. Their beer is pretty good.
I mean, I never hear people like raving about it, but
I never hear people raving about.
everybody
Right.
knows what it is, and
I think back in the way early days, Terminator Stout was pretty
maybe.
fucking popular, but I'm not a stout guy, so I never really fell for that. Um, but also McMiniman's beer is not really available in stores, so it's you only are getting it if you want to go to McMiniman's. I could say McMiniman's is just in general overrated. It's
Mm,
like the
like the whole
McDonald's
experience.
of it's like the McDonald's of craft of like that kind of whole aesthetic. Not to just shit on where JPK decided to have his wedding reception, but
Oh, where's he having his wedding reception?
he didn't know that. It's at Kennedy
Uh,
School.
no, I guess I didn't know that.
Oh, so the wedding's at the whatever place, and then his reception
Yeah.
after is at Kennedy School, I
Oh,
believe. Yeah, at the boiler room.
maybe I need to pay attention to things. Sorry,
Yeah,
JPK.
Jesus.
I mean,
No, but I could see number one over. I mean, that's not my number one overrated brewery, but I mean, Yusef, you barely drink beer, bruh.
hmm,
I mean, I've seen you drink a beer. I have seen you drink a beer, but you barely drink beer. And I like a good Hammerhead. I like
I
Hammerhead. I
do
think it's a
too.
pretty good beer.
Hmm.
So, but I don't know.
I mean, for a while it seemed like those. I mean, you probably have to like venture out to some of the pubs, but it just seemed like those were just kind of the mainstays was Hammerhead, Terminator, and Ruby.
And then the whole
And then,
Rubinator,
hmm
where we stole the idea for Beer Blender. Like, oh,
hmm
let us do this. Anyway,
well, that or the black and tan, whoever came up with the black and tan.
oh, but true. I don't know who came up with that.
But
Well,
that's,
should we get to
yeah,
it?
neither here. Yeah.
Would you like to go? I will let you go first, my friend. What is your number three? Your your third most overrated craft brewery?
And this was kind of hard coming up with some of these lists because I know that there's going to be some I don't know. Maybe I just look at a lot of breweries with rose-colored glasses, but I had a little bit of trouble. But
A
I'm going to
little
throw
bit.
Hop Valley. I'm going to throw Hop Valley on there as my number three.
You're not into the cryo hops, huh?
Well, not really. I mean, it's I don't know. It's just I've had a few of their beers and just they're fine. It's just I've there hasn't really been anything that's really just anything that I go to the store or I mean I've been down to their one of their brew pubs down in Eugene once, um, but there's nothing that's like hey I need to go back there and kind of try everything. But as far I mean I almost kind of question this because I don't know if I've heard. I mean, what they did have a beer that I think that you guys liked a lot. Was it Red Can or
No, is that's not 10 Barrel? That's Hop Valley. Is Red Can is a good beer? Is that Hop Valley?
I thought it
It might
was.
be, but you don't see
Oh,
it
maybe not.
anymore either. I feel like it went away. It was out there
Yeah,
for a long
and
time, and then it just went away. I liked
I
Red
mean,
Can. It's like a
to be
good light
fair,
beer. You never had
I
it?
never. No, that's the only
Oh,
one that
that's
I.
yeah. Hop Valley's an interesting one for me because I mean they got picked up. Who did they get picked up by?
Well, basically Miller Coors, but it's under
Mil-
their 10th and Blake.
so like I don't remember them being a popular brewery before that. So like I don't know what those beers were that made them this like powerhouse that made the Miller Coors want to buy
Yeah.
them. So I'm not sure. Uh, uh, and Hot Valley's always it. They've always kind of seemed like a gimmicky beer like company to me a little bit.
Well, I've got a gimmicky beer company coming up.
um, but I will say this: the best thing Hot Valley brews, Henry Weinhard's Private Reserve, baby.
Yeah, but now I'm starting. I need to look into that one too because I'm not
Oh, they
sure
don't do it
if.
anymore.
I mean, they may still do it, but I'm wondering if Miller's picked up production on that again
Oh,
because
yeah,
I
because
think I've
it's
I
been pretty
think I've been.
consistent lately.
hmm
I just bought
Not only that,
some.
but I think it's available in kegs again.
Oh, really? Yeah, I bought some like
I haven't seen it
last
yet,
week I
but
think, but man, I mean I love that, and I thought it was Hot Valley that was doing it, but yeah, I mean if they've moved over to, but yeah, I mean
well,
I
it
don't
was
know.
like I was
Do
trying.
you remember Hot Valley being super popular before they got? I mean I don't remember that.
I mean, I guess not. I mean, I thought I would hear people talk about that Alpha Centauri IPA all the time. Um, but I mean, that was really about it. See, I kind of hemmed and hawed between this and Full Sail, but it's
Dude,
like I
what?
kind of
You're
like.
gonna throw Full Sail under the bus?
I mean,
I would have got 10 barrel
this
more than I would have got 10 barrel more than Full Sail. I get 10 barrel being like profuse juice. Fuck that bear.
yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get the hype on that beer. No,
No,
I
I mean
mean,
it. Full Sail kind of would have been more of like an older opinion of just based on like
right.
even like friends who were like they really loved that Full Sail Pale, and I tried it and it's just like
You're right. I mean, I never really cared for
and
that beer.
their amber was it was okay, but I mean,
It's great.
I tried it after I already had the Mac and Jack's amber, and it's just it was I don't
But
know.
Session is such a good beer, and that's Full Sail.
Yeah, I mean, Session. The black lager was actually probably a good black. I mean,
All the Session. I mean, the
they're
Cerveza wasn't too bad. It was all right. I
yeah,
mean, it's pretty. I don't know.
they're when the I don't know.
Was
But
Session
yeah,
always Full
but
Sail, or was it a separate thing?
no, it was always
It
Full
was Full
Sail.
Sail. Okay, I didn't. I didn't know that knowledge.
But I didn't put Full Sail on the list, so there's no sense in arguing it, I guess, because
Well, I will say
ultimately,
I don't. If I don't, I don't get. I don't know what this hype is for Hot Valley, but there clearly is hype for there. It clearly because it has so much shelf space, dude.
mm.
Like there are people that love this beer and they put it out there. I don't get. So I get it.
And
I get it's overrated. I don't. It shouldn't take up that much space.
yeah, and once you said that, I just realized I'm changing my list already,
Oh, really?
and we might have one on the because I completely forgot about this brewery,
Oh,
and
really?
it's yes,
Okay. Well, that's fine. I mean, would Hot Valley still be on the list or no?
um,
I think Hot Valley deserves to be on the list because I don't
yeah,
like because it
because
takes up a marketably considerable amount of space in a
mm-hmm.
store, and it's like who drinks
and
this beer?
that might be part of being owned by Miller Coors now.
Maybe, but it's wild. I don't know. So I agree with this choice. I did not pick this choice, but I 100% agree with this choice. All right, my number three. I made a really brave choice. This is probably gonna get me canceled because I went with something different. I went with something down in California that I've only had a couple
Oh,
times, but I don't understand the love for it. You've bought me a bottle. Dave's bought me a bottle. Uh, we're gonna go with the Russian River. I've only had the one Pliny of the Elder. I've only had that one beer. So it's unfair. It's really kind of unfair for me to judge the entire brewery over this one beer. But at the same time, I don't. I like the beer. Don't get me wrong. I like the beer. There's some Hot Valley beers I like. I like Pliny of the Elder. It's a good beer. I don't understand the craziness, the fucking I will spend hundreds of dollars to buy a case or a box of and like make sure I go down and when it's out I gotta race to it and get it. Like now having it, it's like I'm good. I don't really need it again. It's not like it's never gonna be it's not my favorite IPA. It's never gonna be my favorite IPA. There's other IPAs I think are wildly better. So I don't get it. So the hype for that beer kind of blows my mind a little bit. Not a lot of it actually. I put it on my list. So, and I get I'm kind of being shock and awe, shock value for this list, but I mean, sure. I mean, if it was on sale in my store and I bought a 6-pack of it, sure, I get it. But buying it, how much does it go for a bottle? It's fucking crazy. And this, I don't know. I don't. I,
I don't know how much it goes for now, but I mean, I remember when I first was trying it, even probably back in 2010, when they were still playing this whole game of so many you could buy like two bottles at a time. Um, it's still like decently priced. It was like $5 for a bottle.
I feel like it was more than that now.
I mean,
Is
it
it
might be
not?
more than that now,
I feel
but
like it was.
being it's 14 years later. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna completely disagree with that choice. Especially that beer, just because I never understood the hype behind it either. I like it, but
You've had
I
some of
don't
your other
quite.
stuff too, right?
Yeah, and that's why I would probably disagree with the saying that the brewery as a whole is overrated because their sours are actually, I know.
All right, Jared.
Yeah, no, like
No, you're fine. You're fine.
supplication is that is one I will actually seek out if I know it's available.
All right, that's
Might
cool.
even grab two and let one sit for a while. But yeah, that's kind of like
But
one
wasn't
of the
on
top tier
the
sours
last
for
the
me.
last time you bought some? Didn't wasn't there one called like Pig something that you bought? Like
Oh yeah, because there's also a couple others that have been kind of released. It's there was Happy Hops. Happy Hops actually kind of surprised me. Like I wasn't really expecting much out of it, and it was actually a pretty decent beer. The other one I think it's called Blind Pig
oh right.
IPA. That one I didn't really care for so much. Tried it and just like nothing. But then again, I've never heard any uh, wild demand for that one either. So I don't know if that one even would be considered overrated or is it just an okay beer that they make.
It's
Just
basically the Pliny line because there's the Pliny of the Elder, and then there's like the double of the
Pl-
Pliny of the what is the other one?
Pliny the Younger.
Yeah, so there's that one, and those are like the two
Mm. Yeah,
supposedly.
those are the two. Like I don't know. I don't even know if they bottle Pliny the Younger or if they do. That's fairly new because it used to just be a Russian River only release. Like you actually had to stand in line and
Hmm.
at Russian River to get
See,
it.
got to
Um,
get that hype, you
but
know.
but I think I've actually seen empty kegs of it, so I think it, at least it's made its way beyond that. Maybe it's in bottles, or maybe it will be in bottles at some point.
It's a beer. It's a good beer. I will drink it. I like
Yes,
it. I don't get
but
it, the hype for it, and I think it's a little bit overrated that so many people like. I don't know. That's fine. That's cool. You
just
do
go
you.
nuts. But
But
that's
that's my list. That's
that's
my number
marketing.
three. That's my number three. So what's your number two, Nick?
So I was originally going to go with Sierra Nevada for this one. Um,
Probably not super overrated anymore. I mean, maybe back in the day,
yeah, I mean,
they're almost forgotten
I
these
mean,
days,
yeah, I mean, they are a pioneer in craft brew. I mean,
right?
so maybe I shouldn't pick on them anyway.
And I know you hate them.
Well, I don't hate them. I mean, there are some beers that they make that I do like. Um, like Bigfoot Barley Wine's a pretty
Oh,
decent
all right.
barley
There you
wine.
go.
Um, they're they had a double IPA for a while that was actually pretty good. I like picking that up every once in a while. But just that pale, just I never got that one. Never understood it. Never liked it. Never understood why everybody would rave about it. But anyway, that's not on my list. The number two, I know I wasn't going to pick on him, but still, I kind of did a little bit. Um, the number two, and I can't believe I didn't even think of this one because when you mentioned shelf space,
Mm.
yeah, we're gonna go up over to Astoria and we'll drive right by the good brewery and then we'll head over to Bowie because yeah, that one's just crazy. They get a crazy amount of shelf space. Um, I don't think I've had a beer there that I even really care for. Um, but just I've heard people just rave about it. I think I knew somebody that talked about how great it was to even go there, drink their beer, and then look at the glass floor when you go to the little brew pub there in Astoria. But
Aaron's a big fan of Bowie.
hmm
He talks about it. He loves him. That's cool.
well, he wasn't. I'm talking about somebody else.
Oh, somebody else. I thought you
Someone
were. I
else
actually
who.
thought you were talking about Aaron because Aaron talks about that. He
No,
says the same things.
no,
He talks
actually,
about the
no,
glass and he talks about the food.
no. This is actually somebody I used to deliver to years
Oh,
ago.
okay. Sorry, my bad.
But
Sorry,
we'd
Aaron.
always talk
Didn't mean
beer.
to throw you under the bus.
But yeah, it's just I've tried their beers and just there's I don't get it. I just this one completely baffles me.
I remember when they were not in cans and they had limited shelf space and they just did it in bottles, like the 20-ounce bottles. You would just get
I don't remember that.
like kind of like what
Oh,
Gigantic
mm-hmm.
does. Like you would just like in the
Okay,
and I would get
right.
and I remember trying all these Bowie beers and just being just sorely disappointed. Just like nah, I don't no no, and then they just fucking blew up. Like they're just
Mm-hmm.
but they're not owned by anybody, are they?
I don't think so.
They just have some kind of deal, and they just like have so much shelf space.
Yeah, maybe they just that distributor they're with is just is doing them good.
and I feel like we haven't really done them on the show, and I feel like maybe I should give them another chance. I don't think I've done any Bowie beer. Have I done any Bowie beers on Milkman Drinks a Beer? I don't even know. I have to look.
Um,
But I
I
feel,
think I think somebody did like one of their cream ales or
oh,
something, or
maybe. Well, I know we did Pelican's cream ale. Man, I didn't put Pelican on the fucking list. Oh my god. Anyway,
mm,
uh, now that I think about it, it's like, oh, they have a lot of
I
fucking
don't know.
shelf space too. It's like, what the fuck? I'd almost be more willing. I'd almost, I don't know. Pelican and Bowie are kind of,
It's not better at the beach, I
yeah, it's
guess.
not better.
I mean, I always like getting Pelican's Mother of All Storms, and I know
Right, and
Dave likes getting
Dave's
it
a
from.
big fan of that, and I know Jared really likes the cream ale from Pelican. Um,
Mhm.
but I've never really been impressed by their beers. But we're not talking about their beers. We're talking about Bowie's.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bowie's beers are just kind of. It's always a surprise. It's just But maybe I should give him another try. It's been a long time. I should give him. Maybe I should just get him. I should just do a taste.
maybe
Just really be a connoisseur of the greatness.
try it again. I
Yeah,
guess I don't know. It's
buoy myself to a fucking. Anyway, no Bowie. That's interesting. Uh, so my number two. So Jared, what gave me the idea for this list is that Jared posted the craft brew battle that the Portland area was doing, and one of the breweries I agreed with that made it so far. The other brewery, I was kind of dumbfounded. And now I don't hate Freem.
Mhm.
Freem's beers are perfectly fine, and
maybe that was on the list.
I've tried a lot of their. They kind of do these like one-off beers, and though they're fucking so overpriced and expensive, it's fucking gnarly that they do this. So they have, but I just don't really get why they're this. So like, if Freem was in the list and they were, but the hype that they're like one of these great brewers, they're not, in my opinion, not better than Fort George, but they're perfectly fine brewery. They're better than Bowie. They're better, but I have friends that really like them, and I'm like, I mean, the beer's fine.
I like them.
I don't hate them,
I
but
don't think they're overrated,
I think
but
they're
I can see why.
I think they're a little overrated. I also don't like their basic their basic can design is so garbage. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't really get. They are starting to take up more shelf space, which is fine. It's a decent amount. They got like their three beers. They got their IPA, their West Coast IPA, and their Pilsner. I think.
See, I don't even know what the regular beers are. I just like going after like anything they have something new or something with a
Well,
cork in
right.
it. I'm
So I think their
probably gonna
mainline
buy it.
beers. I think their mainline beers are perfectly okay. And then you try the Japanese lager. I didn't really care for it. They have some other. I've tried quite a few of their other like kind of the specialty tall boys that they do in the 4 packs. They're just crazy overpriced. Like even like I guess I feel like they're so far up their own ass that they can just charge so much more for this can of beer than it. I don't know. I think it's a little crazy. I think it's a little overrated. Like reel it in a bit. You guys aren't that great. I do like the can design on those. I do think it's cool that they like. It's funny that they go into way more design focused things for these specialty beers than their basic line. But I feel like their basic line isn't worth. I don't know. It's not better than a lot of the. So like I was saying, Jared like had this like they were doing this best of craft brew thing. I don't think Freem's basic line is better than a lot of the like Boneyard. It's not better than Boneyard in my opinion, but whatever. So
Maybe I
I'm
should
gonna
try their basic line. I don't think I've ever tried it
really.
actually. I think I've always just so it's like the price point. I don't quite understand that because I guess I only go after their specialty beers, so I'm already
Mm.
expecting that higher price. Um, but
I mean I get
yeah,
that,
maybe maybe
but
I
like I don't think some of those specialty ones are that good. I don't know. that's where I'm at. I think they're doing a good job, obviously trying to get people in, but
Because like me, who
I don't get it.
hate
I don't 100% get it. Some of it I like. I don't think I've ever. I mean, I've only. I don't think I've ever bought any of the free mainline beers. I've had them because my friends drink them. My friend in the band, they're kind of big fans of them, and it's like okay, and I'll have them, and it's like okay, this is fine. I'd rather drink a different IPA than this. I don't know. Whatever. So that's mine. Number 2 free. All right. Let's take the gloves off. What's your number 1?
Rogue.
Hey, we don't have to like we don't have to I could that's mine too. That's my number 1 as
Oh,
well.
oh, all right then.
Let's just collective
Oh,
dog shit on Rogue.
I didn't see that coming, but all right.
You didn't? You didn't think so?
I didn't. I've never really heard you talk bad about, or maybe I just don't remember it. But I mean,
Oh, I'm not a fan of
like
Rogue. I've never been a fan. I mean, I do like Dead Guy. That beer's a
I do
decent
too.
beer, but all the rest of their beers are just trash. And I don't get why they
Um,
were
and gimmicky and
so highly
like
regarded.
I guess there's a fine line between experimentation and just being stupid gimmicky.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like the beard that they brewed from John Mayer's beard. I mean, that just, I guess that's trying to be like Oregon quirky, but I
Or
mean,
the
actually just,
carpet from Portland Airport.
well, I was just going to say the beard one just sounded gross, and it's just like, yeah.
Aren't they the
Um,
ones that did the sriracha beer too?
they, did they?
I thought that was Rogue. Is it not
Possibly.
Rogue?
I
Hmm.
mean, it doesn't, I mean, it sounds like something they do, because I mean, they did a voodoo donut beer,
Ugh.
which I never tried. Like, well, wow, two overrated powers combined. Um,
Stale donuts and beer.
mm. um, but yeah, it's just it's
Yeah, it's Rogue. Rogue did the
I'm
sriracha beer.
okay.
It's a stout.
And I know
It's a hot stout.
sounds like a hot mess. Um, they also did a Chipotle beer years ago that it sounded interesting, but just I mean, I've mentioned it numerous times, and just it's like that's one of my examples of where a sample is not enough to get like a full experience of a beer because the sample was great and the first couple of drinks were great, but it I mean, I just don't like spicy beers in general too, just for this reason. But I mean, it's just an example of just something that, yeah, I did not like.
I feel like it's one of those things where like all these other breweries that are looking for gimmicks or trying to be different, they look at Rogue and it's like, oh, we can do this too. And it's
Mhm.
like then you get all these other breweries that are doing stupid shit. It's like don't do stupid shit. Just make good beer. And Rogue only ever
Mhm.
made one good beer. And actually, technically, they made two. I like Double Dead Guy, but they stopped making that.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh, did
like,
they? Damn.
I think they did.
I
I mean, it
mean,
used to come in.
well,
I haven't seen Double Dead Guy in a long fucking time. So, and I don't really care for. I
yeah, like in
mean,
the red bottle,
it was like a
that
pink
red.
bottle. It's like a pinkish,
Oh.
kind of magenta, maybe. I don't know. I remember drinking that all the time back when I lived at my mom's house, eating Taco Bell late at night. It's like getting me a Double Dead
Mm.
Guy and just fucking. Anyway, but like the Dead Guy IPA, nope, no,
I
not
don't think I've tried any of those, but yeah, now they've turned Dead Guy into a brand. Well, I mean, they did
yeah.
it when they came out with their whiskeys, which, by the way, the Dead Guy whiskey, I mean, it's harsh, but I like it.
Oh,
Um,
I
but
mean, I tried the. I don't know if they
again,
still make it, but they had the Rogue did because they had their distillery. They did a gin, and it was disgusting. So, because I'm a gin
yeah,
guy.
I mean,
But they're
but
like the
yeah,
what do you
it's
call
just
that? They're like the rebel. They're like the Nike. Well, they're from Nike founders, but they're like the
yeah,
Nike of
hmm
craft brewing. You know, it's like oh, we're gonna do it our own
I
way,
guess
and it's like
I
ugh.
was say it's like we're almost trying to be avant garde too when it comes to our
Mm.
beers, but it's just. I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot of their stuff just kind of feels. I mean,
Just bat
I have
squatch,
had.
and it's like, meh,
Um,
not good.
I haven't
Don't.
haven't tried it.
Oh, you never had it?
Um,
Oh, and what's
no,
the
I
other?
haven't. Well,
There's like,
because I've just kind of like I just like even Dead Guy doesn't taste as good to me as it used to back in the day. I mean, it's still fine. I'll still drink it. I'll still go out and buy it every once in a while.
I think it's better on
I'm a little,
draft.
of course, and it's good in cans, but I still kind of wish it was available. And maybe it still is available in bottles, and I just haven't seen it.
I think it
Um,
is.
okay.
I think it is.
Um, so maybe I shouldn't jump to that conclusion. Um,
I thought you were a can guy anyway. No, you're not a can guy.
Used to be. I used to be because I wanted to support the canned movement, just because um, for a variety of reasons. Just because you could ship more, they weigh less,
Right.
easier to recycle. But I mean, clearly, bottles still the better choice when it comes to beer. I
Clearly,
mean,
go out in public and drink a beer off tap and with your friends.
yeah. Mhm.
That's the best way.
Well, that's the best way. But I mean, if I'm going to do it at home,
By myself.
yeah.
Well, if you had a keg, you could just throw it in the kegerator. Uh,
Hmm.
Come on, Nick.
I know.
But not a dead guy. It'd be. I mean,
Yeah, that would take a while to finish, and
what is dead
but I mean,
guy?
they
It's just an ale. It's just
it's
a.
it's an ale. I think it was described as like a Maybach or something like that.
Okay.
Not the car, but that's
Right.
Maybach. Um, I mean, they've had a couple other beers throughout the years. I mean, their American Amber was okay, but then again,
I don't know if I ever had that.
it came. I don't know if they still have it, but I mean, years ago they did, and it had like a guy like kind of flexing his muscle or whatever. And even for a while, they were coming out with their own growlers of like Dead Guy, and um, that was kind of like in the
Oh,
early days of
The growler was actually an American flag, right? Like a.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Because they had
Jared.
the American Amber in the
Yeah.
growler, and Dead Guy was in the growler too.
I don't think I ever had it, but I
Um,
remember Jared. I think he went out to Rogue on the coast, and he came back with a couple of those. I remember that when I lived with him.
mm,
Anyway.
yeah, I remember actually delivering a couple of them, and I just kind of perplexed by it, but it was like, all right, well, growlers are turning into a thing, so whatever. Of course, that fad is apparently past.
Yeah, I miss the
So
growler movement.
I do too. I mean, there's still a place here in Canby that I'll still stop by every once in a while. But
I mean, you can get them filled. I just don't do it.
yeah, yeah,
I just don't do it anymore.
because it sucks because it's already exposed to like the outside air, so it's you basically giving yourself 3 days to drink something.
Right. Which for me is easy.
Yeah, but if you're getting like a high-powered stout like I do sometimes, it's like,
It's really one of those things where you have to like, oh, if we're going to a party, oh, I'll go get a growler of this, and we'll drink it by the time that's over.
mhm,
But like, yeah, I have
yeah,
like 3 or 4 growlers up in my cupboard. It's like we haven't used those in forever. Yeah, we both
but
not same beers until number one.
mhm,
Rogue. Also, Rogue had some
yeah.
fucking shady hiring practices back in the earlier days.
Some
Uh,
shady what?
Shady hiring practices.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, I don't
so
doubt it. And I mean, even just kind of going down a rogue rabbit hole, saw some people complaining about how they treat their employees too, which
right,
was,
right.
and then
I've seen that
employees
too.
trying to unionize, and but
Which is
I mean, I
crazy
think
because
that
we live in
was
the Pacific Northwest where it's like very liberal and like kind of forward thinking, and these guys you would think they're like this rogue brewery that they'd be open to that idea, and yet no.
too much, but whatever. I mean, that I think that was when one of the founders was still alive, which he no longer is, but I
Oh
think
really?
his son has kind of taken over things.
Oh, I'm sorry to shit on him. Then I didn't mean to. Sorry, he's dead. Rogue's been around forever though. I mean, they're one of our first. I mean, not the first, but they're one of like the. We
They're
had
one of
these
the
kind of
primary ones.
basic. We had these kind of basic like Bridgeport and Widmere and these kind of like safe, and then you had kind
Yeah,
of Rogue come in that kind of disrupted the basic. But they didn't make
kind of
better
we
beer. Is
thought
the
so.
problem? They didn't really make.
Yeah, and they just came up with gimmicks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like they had a Mo Hefeweizen for Mo's
Mmm.
chowder.
Clam chowder.
Yeah. Hey, once again, overrated when overrated powers combine.
I mean, Moses is fine. I
I
mean, I
know,
don't
but
know.
people just love to shit on it though too. But I mean,
It's
it's
funny
okay. But
though. Yeah, Moses is one of those. I'm not gonna shit on Mose. Whatever. Like Mose is like Rogue is a thing that like is a higher level of a thing that people know about. Like you can get it. Mose is like that tourist overrated. Like I
yeah,
mean, there's other great. I mean, Mose is fine, but like but it is funny. Let's take this thing, this exclusively kind of Portland or Oregon, and then we'll make a beer out of it. Stupid.
yeah, and oh yeah, and then they also did their deadliest catch beer, which I actually like that one, but
Oh, really?
still, it's yeah.
They have the
I
summer
mean,
dreaming one that's not very good. I think that's like a pale ale or something. I don't like that. I mean, I feel like I've
I'm
had
trying
more
to
of their
think.
beers than you.
No, because there was a time where, well,
They're
especially when I was delivering their stuff, it was I was seeing it, and then I would go out and buy it. It's just it's that was so long ago that it's kind of hard. Like now, I'm starting to remember some of it. Like I think Yellow Snow was kind of a. It wasn't their regular tier winter. It was kind of one of those upper tier ones. And I think that one even came out in a growler too at one point, or not. I'm not positive on that one, but um, oh, Santa's Private Reserve, I think was a regular
Oh, I don't think I ever had that.
winter ale. That one was okay. That was, I think, when I was a little more tolerant, or when I could tolerate the winter beer
Mm.
stuff more than I can now, where it's just like, yeah. Um,
They
but
have a
yeah,
way smaller shelf space though. I mean, they have a variety pack,
yeah.
and then you kind of see Dead Guy and maybe Bass Squatch and maybe something else, but they don't have a lot of
And even back in the day, that was kind of the case as
yeah.
well. Like it was in most places, you'd only see Dead Guy in 6 packs. It was you kind of had to go a little out of your way to find like where they'd have like a lot of the other stuff.
And it was their
Um,
bottles with that shitty label that barely stuck on the
yeah,
bottle. It's like it was always like
yeah,
very half-assed. Like it was surprising
hmm
that like this company, like this beer was popular, this company was doing well. Like because this what you're buying, this
yeah.
product is packaged
Yeah,
so shitty.
their beer labels were still like at the startup phase.
Yeah, right. It's funny to me. Yet everyone knew this beer, loved this beer, and it's like,
Mm.
why is this so shitty? Like,
No, and years ago I loved it too. It was just like, oh wow, they've got all these different styles, and then it's just like you start to realize like, oh, they have all these styles because they're
but they've been,
not always that great. They're not. They It's basically they're just like throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what
but
sticks.
they're surfing off that one beer, man.
Mm.
Like, and I feel like if a company does like just surf off that one, be okay with that, and bring back Double Dead Guy. You know what? Bring back Double Dead Guy. Get rid of the rest of your beers. Those are the two beers you need to have on the shelf.
Maybe not. Keep the chocolate stouts around. I like experimenting with those.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, right, right.
You can
Oh,
get rid of that hazelnut brown though. I mean, you should have trashed that one years ago.
oh, yeah, yeah. From Lord Beerstrow's lips to God's ears.
Hmm
Do you have any honorable mentions that you want to throw under the bus quickly?
I mean, I think I already kind of mentioned them. Um, like maybe not. Um, shoot.
I kind of waffled. I mean, I didn't put Bowie on my list, but Bowie would be one of my honorable mentions. I kind of waffled on Deschutes. Like, I get Mirror Pond and Black. I don't really care for Black Butte, and I like Mirror Pond, but I feel like all the rest of their beers are shit, and I don't get why how they became so big. Like how they still a powerhouse. Like I don't know. I don't like any of
Like
their
I
IPAs. Ugh,
like I've thought about Three Creeks, but I don't know if they're that well known or that well liked because I
right?
think everybody I've ever talked to have just said they're like just okay.
Right.
Like I haven't heard anything people like
I'm surprised we
say
didn't
like
put
they're
10 Barrel on our lists. Like I think 10 Barrel. I mean, I like pub beer, but I don't care for any of their actual other beers. Really. I mean, they're fine, but they're perfectly mediocre in my opinion. Like I don't that's kind of like a Hop Valley.
well, I guess I never really heard like I mean the only thing that I ever really heard about Ten Barrel is like they kind of showed up and then the next thing I know they were being bought by Anheuser Busch and it's like oh okay. But I mean, I hadn't ever really, I mean, except for one person who really liked their Apocalypse IPA, I hadn't ever really heard too much about it. And then, I started trying their Crush, which was like
Mm,
kind of sour beers for beginners.
mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I never heard a lot of actual hype for 10 Barrel.
Which is
But,
weird, but I mean, pub beer is
um,
pretty popular. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I guess Apocalypse IPA was pretty popular too.
One of the well, that's still at the Moda Center. Like they still have that. Like 10 Barrel's pretty popular over there. I
Mm,
had one. Oh, I just lost it.
was it Washington?
No, it was. God damn it! What was I gonna
California?
say?
Was it Lagunitas?
No, Lagunitas is fine. I don't ever feel like Lagunitas ever got like I don't know. I like Lagunitas, but I don't feel like anyone cares about Lagunitas anymore. Right? There was a moment. I guess there was a hot moment when it was the hot shit, but
Yeah. Um,
no, there was something I
First,
was gonna say and I can't remember what it was. Oh,
was it?
Ninkasi. How do we feel? Do we
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like I like Total Domination, but all their other beers kind of trash. They're still independent,
Maybe.
but
Honorable mention worthy.
I think they're honorable mention worthy. Like they're
I
doing a big
honestly kind of forgot
rebranding right
about them
now.
too.
They're doing a big rebranding right now. But I don't feel like they've really made another. They make some pretty high, like the Velociraptor and the Megalop, like those fucking like multi like Juice Force beers. Like they make some of those, but like I don't really like they haven't made a really good beer since Total Domination.
I can't remember last time I actually had a Ninkasi beer. It's been a while.
I'll buy Total Domination every once in a while because I do like it.
Yeah, I was always told Total Domination is supposed to be kind of like a terminal gravity IPA, which I didn't think it was quite the case, but
Hmm.
um,
Well, there you go, guys. Our top three overrated beers.
they were pretty nice to Washington, although I could see Fremont being on that list.
What's the? Well, I was thinking. I mean, there was beers. I was just like, oh, I just don't like that beer. But it's like that brewery isn't really popular. So I was like,
Mm,
I mean, I guess I could have thrown Sam Adams under the bus,
yeah,
and then Nick disconnects.
yeah.
Uh, no, I mean, I like Boston Lager and I like the winter one. There's some other beers I don't
Yeah,
really care of theirs, but I don't I don't hate them. So I don't no one I don't feel like they're ever overrated. They're a beer company
yeah.
that exists.
I think people understand what they are.
Right. Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah, so that's
speaking of which, maybe I will just drink this.
oh, what are
Get
you
this out of
drinking?
my life.
What is it?
Drink that
Oh, of
Hop
course you
Valley.
are. Of course you are. Well, we have another episode. We're going to do like a beer blender, right?
Oh, I didn't think we were, but
Oh, I mean, we
we
can do
can.
one. Let's do one. We can do one. Well, I
Okay.
mean, let's. I mean, whatever. Or just pound that
Uh,
down
I
and. Or were you gonna blend that?
no.
Oh. Oh, well, you said you would, and I didn't really respond to it. I just figured, oh, we can just talk
Oh,
about it on the show. But we could do one. Let's do one. You want to do one?
okay.
All
Sure.
right. Well, let's wrap this up then. This is the Couch Co-op, and we just did our top 3 overrated craft breweries. It was a lot of fun. We'll try and bring you. It's kind of nice to do different episodes than just reviewing beers. So every once in a while, maybe the next time we'll do our top 3 favorite craft breweries or underrated. Underrated would probably be a good one, actually, huh?
Actually, another one that might be fun is like we go seek out maybe some newer ones and just like
Oh,
try and highlight some upcoming
never.
ones or like
It's also coming up, Nick. May 11th, we got the Canby Beer Fest. Where so you
yeah.
guys gonna get some special content with that?
So it's gonna be you and JPK coming to town.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know
I
if
mean,
John's
he's
still
gonna.
coming.
Oh, well, I thought he said he was gonna be staying at his folks' place.
He did say he was doing it, but then he was like, because it's so
You know,
close
that
to
might
his
be too close to his wedding.
wedding, and
And
he
I
was
just,
thinking like maybe he needed to deal. So like, I'm sorry he didn't talk to you. He's my son is just irresponsible. I mean, I'm gonna keep trying to get him to come because I don't think he really needs to do anything. So,
I don't know.
but I know for sure I am going. I have tickets. I have a
Yeah,
ticket
and
this
I've got
time.
mine.
Unlike last time, I have a ticket, so I will definitely be coming down. We'll be drinking beers. I'll be crashing at your place. We'll record some bullshit of us
And
tomfoolery.
further on, I also bought a ticket for the
The
one up
Vancouver
in
one.
Vancouver.
Yes.
Yeah,
August 9th.
and
That one's way out. Yeah, but yes.
yeah,
So that'll be fun
um,
too. More beer
I'm
content.
interested. I'm interested to see if. I mean, I'm still curious if I should actually do it and just buy like an Amtrak
Oh,
ticket.
you're going to do it?
I, I don't know. I'm
You should
kind of
do it.
curious. Like, the only thing I don't like is the amount of time that I'll be able to stay up in Vancouver before I have to turn back around because I think it only gives me like a 4 or 5 hour window. I mean, that's probably enough, but
Oh, really? And before it closes
yeah.
down?
Well, just before the other train heads back.
Well, you could
So
always
it's
just
like,
crash at my place. Like you crash at my, and then you could take it in the
mm,
morning on Sunday.
well, that's the other thing. It's like,
No
so
Sunday.
I don't, well, no, no, no. So I don't know if you bought a ticket for it at all or not,
Oh yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. The yeah,
so the ticket's good for
so,
Saturday and
and
Sunday.
Sunday, and then it's $5 beers to
Yeah.
empty the kegs, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Well, we could still do that, and then
Mm-hmm.
you go home.
Yeah, and I'll just make sure I take that Monday off, or just,
You would
I
have
mean,
to.
yeah, like, hey guys, I am not coming in. Leave me alone.
But yeah, that could be fun. We could totally do that, man.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
I'm open to it if you want to crash on my couch or whatever. So
Hey, here's a video, Nick on the floor. How about
I
that?
mean, I did it at your place. It's only fair you do it at my
Yeah,
place. Anyway, all right. Well, we'll get out of here. This is the Couch Co-op. Thanks, Nick, for popping in and
yeah,
doing this episode. And
lovely.
yeah, lovely. And you guys can find our podcast. Well, it'll be on YouTube and it'll also be on the Couch Co-op or Couch Co-op shows, whatever, iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff.
So I actually have a question about that, just because I
Oh no,
subscribe to both Couch Co-op and Couch Co-op.
yeah,
When you're putting these Couch Co-op things, it's still under Couch Co-op, and you don't.
yeah. I stopped. Well, here's the thing. Uh, so I got tired of managing multiple accounts.
Okay.
So and we weren't doing Couch Co-op that much anymore. So I just started putting Couch Co-op on the Couch Co-op as Couch Co-op presents the Couch Co-op. And that's what I started doing.
Gotcha.
So that's what I started doing. Just last week, Spotify changed it so now I can have multiple podcasts under one account. But I don't know if I'll actually move Couch Co-op out of that because we do it so
Infrequent.
infrequent that I think I'll just keep it. But I did move. So like Gabe and I are doing our Blank as a Fart Twin Peaks podcast. Since we are doing that weekly, I decided to take that off and stop inundating people with this Twin Peaks podcast they probably don't want. But I feel like the Couch Co-op and Couch Co-op are so similar that I'm just going to keep it on that one. But
Yeah.
so
Keeping it in the
that's
Couch Co-op brand,
yeah. So the Couch Co-op,
like the
that
Dead Guy podcast.
yeah, that podcast, even though it exists out there, it's not being updated anymore. So you can unsubscribe. They all just come out on the Couch Co-op show. But anyway,
Okay.
let's get out of here. Have a good night, everybody. We will talk to you later. Bye.
Convene.